Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tracing an economic shockwave. And I'm not talking about some boring ripple that just lives on a spreadsheet. We're looking at a massive geopolitical wave originating straight from the Middle East that travels thousands of miles to land, literally right in your wallet. We're going to break down exactly how this hidden architecture of our daily lives actually works.
I mean, just picture this for a second. What if the price of everything began to move before you even finished your first cup of tea? Your phone lights up, the news banner flashes, and somewhere deep within the global economy, a warning siren begins to sound. Not a war siren, not a natural disaster alarm, but an inflation siren.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structural map for tracing this massive wave today. 1. The epicenter. 2. The supply chain contagion. 3. The kitchen table reality. 4. The central bank trap. 5. The psychology of scarcity. And 6. The global social fallout.
Part 1. The epicenter.
If we really want to understand global price shocks, we have to look at the absolute center of global oil, gas, and shipping corridors. As our source material points out, the next wave is not starting in the usual place everyone expects. It is coming from the Middle East. And the terrifying part of a shock from this region isn't just that prices go up, it's that the wave spreads like wildfire. And here's the crazy thing, traders don't even need a full-blown collapse to panic. Just the fear of a blockade, a security incident or a regional crisis, that is absolutely enough to spike insurance premiums and futures. Those are the prices traders bet on for tomorrow. Uncertainty is the initial spark.
And you can watch how this travels in a brutal chronological sequence. It's fascinating. In Phase 1, the abstract world of geopolitics makes traders panic. But by Phase 2, drivers are already doing the grim math at the fuel pump. In Phase 3, factory managers and manufacturers start paying more. Until finally, in Phase 4, shoppers face higher bills at the checkout. The wave migrates directly from geopolitics straight into the world of your daily inconvenience.
Part 2. The supply chain contagion. Let's move to how this builds, because this is the exact transmission mechanism where an initial energy spike bleeds instantly into the broader global logistics network. It's a total domino effect. Step 1. The energy spike. That immediately pushes shipping costs up in Step 2, which then surges the price of imported goods in Step 3. And finally, retail prices climb in Step 4. It's this relentless chain reaction where every single downstream sector just gets heavier and heavier to carry.
Because think about it, fuel isn't just fuel, right? Fuel is the hidden cost behind almost every single product on every shelf. It's transport and logistics. It's agriculture and fertilizer for our food. It's baked into manufacturing inputs, packaging, aviation, the whole shebang. Any disruption to energy echoes everywhere.
Part 3. The kitchen table reality. Now, let's zoom in from that massive macro supply chain, because this is where abstract economics get deeply visceral. Modern inflation might begin in one specific region, but it ends up sitting right at your kitchen table. It's standing in your gas tank, it's hiding in your grocery receipt, and it's sleeping in your rent bill. This intense interconnectedness is exactly why your personal cost of living goes up and why things just feel unexpectedly expensive overnight. Now, what's really interesting about this is how inflation acts as a massive distributive force. When you compare the two, it's wild. While developed economies absolutely feel the pinch, developing economies face a severe social shock. Why? Because households there spend a much larger share of their income on basic necessities like food and transport. A tiny percentage increase produces a massive amount of human pain. Part 4. The central bank trap. And this brilliantly illustrates the impossible balancing act governments and central banks face when trying to intervene in an energy-driven shock. It's a brutal dilemma. On one hand, if central banks fight inflation hard and raise interest rates too much, they crush the economy, damaging growth, housing, and jobs. But on the flip side, if they raise rates too slowly, prices just keep climbing and running completely wild. It's a terribly blunt instrument for a highly sensitive problem. Ultimately, inflation is not just a number on a chart. It is a test of leadership. Officials and economists might speak in calm, measured language on the news, right? They'll assure us that a shock is manageable, or maybe they'll say it'll pass quickly. But the public? The public feels something completely different at the grocery store. And this huge disconnect between a politician's official tone and the public's expensive lived reality quickly fuels deep political anger. Part 5. The psychology of scarcity.
So this psychological shift is the hidden danger where human behavior actually makes the economic problem worse. It's called psychological inflation. Basically, when people believe prices will keep rising, they behave in ways that make that belief true. Once the public feels the future is going to be incredibly expensive, they plan as if scarcity is coming. People buy early, they hoard things, they demand higher wages, then employers raise prices to compensate. It makes the inflation wave a self-reinforcing prophecy. It's no longer just an economic force, it's become a psychological one.
And families react defensively to protect their budgets, which makes total sense. They cut back on optional spending, they switch to cheaper alternatives, and they start hoarding and buying in bulk. The whole economy becomes thinner, more anxious, more defensive. This mood spreads, and inflation quietly eats away at savings like rust on metal.
Part 6. The global social fallout. So, sustained, widespread economic anxiety across the globe has massive macro-political consequences. When people feel poorer without feeling less productive, resentment naturally grows toward institutions. As our sources note, in a period of inflation shock, truth and anger often travel together. Historically, this leads to a rise in protests, strikes, and populist political waves. It fundamentally shakes trust in globalization, pushing populations toward protectionism and demanding more government intervention.
So, the crucial point is this. The global economy is a network of dependencies built on energy, trust, shipping, and political stability. It's not a neutral machine. Even if you live thousands of miles away from the Middle East, this invisible architecture of daily life connects you directly to a regional shock. When one pillar shakes, everyone feels the tremor.
Which leaves us with this final critical question. Who can stabilize the story before it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy? In an inflation wave where expectations are literally half the battle, confidence and trust are the ultimate firewalls. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop a comment below on what you think would be the first thing to rise in price in your country, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world.